Today, we'll be talking about the importance of toxic positivity. Seriously, I never knew how can toxic be positive. But welcome to Turia Talks.
And this is something that is the first reaction that people have, that how can something like positivity be toxic? If positive is not positive, then it's maybe a Kalyug that we are living in. So what happens is that we need to accept the little nuances of our life, of our society, of our culture, the way we behave, the way we think, and most importantly, the way we feel. So when we are mentioning or when we are talking about something like toxic positivity, what we talk about or what we really mean is that it's something which is dangerous, keeping up an entire aspect of life, keeping up that things should always be light, things like, good vibes only, or be happy all the time. It's all about the mindset. So an only positive mindset, like it's the only right way to live your life. And this is something which could be absolutely excessive.
Right. I would like to ask Doddy ma'am from clinical perspective.
Right. So essentially, toxic positivity, like how Dr. Nidhi explained, the toxic positivity is something that is, we excessively focus on being positive without having the overall experience. Toxic positivity is refusing to see negativity when it's the elephant in the room. It is like brushing undesirable stuff under a rug and not paying attention to it at all.
What's so bad about toxic positivity?
Okay. Now, see, what happens is that, first of all, the worst thing about it is that most people don't know that it exists around us.
Are there any guidelines set to get through the anxiety and depression phase?
So first of all, I would like to say that anxiety and depression, though they are very commonly used words, it's not one size fits all. Most important over here is to understand as to where that problem is coming from, and depending on what causes the problem comes the solution. So depending on what is exactly the trigger factors, for example, what is making you anxious, what is making you depressed, looking at those factors is very, very important when we talk about how do we form a therapeutic intervention around it. Factors such as their own personal life, their social environment, what's happening in their life, what stage of life are they at, becomes very, very important and crucial.
What is natural sadness and how to avoid it? I think we can get perspective from both the experts.
I said natural sadness is things when you are to do with the grief, okay? When you are really trying to overcome grief, or you're trying to fix somebody who's overcoming grief. So instead of saying just be positive, what we need to focus on, that I know that this could be difficult, this must be really tough right now, and things can go wrong, but let's focus on what you can do. Okay, let's focus on, even in this situation, what is it which is right. A lot of times people say that failure is not an option. Impossible is a word which is not in my dictionary. Again, it could be inspiration and motivation, right. But for somebody who's struggling, not so much.
It is important that we remember that it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, life can be exhausting, so give yourself that permission to rest and do something imperfectly, free of guilt. It's okay to be wary of social media, because it can depress the best of us at some points in time.
Seriously.
So I think these are the few things that I would like to add to how do we cope with it.
Right. I can only say that health concern, I think it's a major concern. And of course, India is not far behind in sharing this. Going forward, I think two experts, they have discussed new approach, how people can adapt that with renewed vigor. And to all of us, I think, including me and everyone, our mental health is a priority and our happiness is an essential thing, and self-care is a necessity.